What's up, everyone? Bear with me while I get used to talking to the camera. I'm a 4.28 DUPR pickleball player, trying to get to 5.0, and this is my first film room breakdown. So I started this series because of something pretty simple. I watched myself play for the first time and I genuinely could not stand it. So I'm going to keep filming these breakdowns every match until I actually start enjoying watching myself play. That's the goal. This is going to be the first match of a money ball I did at Pickler Universe, which is my favorite facility in Dallas. My partner in this tournament is Rafa, Pickleball Tech Dude. You obviously know him if you're watching this. If you don't, somehow he's one of the biggest pickleball content creators in the scene, one of the biggest paddle reviewers, so definitely go check him out, Pickleball Tech Dude. And the paddle I'm using is the Chorus Coda, which actually just came out a couple weeks ago. So shout out to Chorus. This is just my main paddle right now, and I'm loving all of Chorus's stuff. Today we're going to be breaking down some moments that stuck out to me from this match. Positioning is going to be the main theme here because those are the majority of mistakes that I made. If you play competitive pickleball and you've ever felt like the ball is always finding you in the wrong spot, this video is definitely for you. So let's get started. Also, huge shout out to Pickleball Tech Dude because this footage is all his. My phone definitely would not record with the same quality as this, so if the quality of the videos is to your liking, please go send him a thank you because this is better than what I could record. So the two people we're playing against in this first match, as you can see, it's Rafa and me in the blue. I'm the left side player in this match, and Rafa is the right side player. We're playing against Cristobal, one of the best 5.0s in the area. And he's playing with an unrated player who I would estimate is in the late threes in terms of skill. So maybe 3.7, 3.9, something like that. We obviously got lucky because Cristobal got a little impatient with that backhand that he tried to hit. This is an example of me staying in the wrong spot. After I hit a pretty decent drop, I should have been leaning forward and looking to either take a reset out of the air, or I should have stayed a little bit more back and just anticipated that ball better. I just was not anticipating the ball to go that low down to my feet, which was my mistake. Rafa did a great job of hitting and getting out of the way right there. I kind of did the same thing again in this point. If you take a look, I kind of was doing the same thing again in this point. Is I was just leaning back, kind of not really ready for the next shot, leading to me popping it up. I I obviously knew I was hitting a high dink right there, and I knew it was going to be attacked. The way that I just stood in the same place over there made things so much harder for me because I had to guess whether he was going to hit it to my forehand or my backhand. So the best thing to have done would have been to slide a little bit to the right and try to just take it on a backhand. And I should have definitely been closer to the kitchen line. So I don't know why I was so far back here. As you can see, I'm popping it up right here. I should have either stayed where I was in the line and just sat on my forehand, or I should have slid as much as I could and sat on my backhand. In this case, I would say that I should have just sat on my forehand and stayed there. What I did is I move here as he's hitting the ball. So my feet should have been planted right before he hit the ball, because now I'm just making things harder for myself. So bottom line, don't move when your opponent is about to attack. Just stay where you are. If you are going to move, then slide and sit on your backhand. But I was moving as I was trying to hit my forehand, so I just hit that a little bit too late. Let's go, Rafa. I have way too much energy in this match. I'm just like bouncing all over the place. I don't know why, but it helps me play, so whatever. Almost did it to them twice, Rafa. So I think I did a good job there of keeping my feet planted and trying to cover a little bit for Rafa when I could tell that he was pushed back a little by them. I held my ground and put my backhand there in the middle, and it worked out. I definitely did not mean to hit Cristobal there. So I got pretty lucky there, just because I think that he did not think my ball was going to drop in, and so when it did, it caught him off guard. I just need to practice that shot more. Now you see over here, you can tell that I was ready for the ball. So I definitely knew that the ball was coming right here. As you can see, I get ready. I don't know why I run like that. But I'm sitting on my backhand. I'm ready for the ball. I think I might be turned a little much to the left. But I'm leaning a little backwards. It doesn't really look like I want it, which is why I'm a little bit too late, and I was not expecting the speed of the ball that Cristobal hit. And so I'm leaning back and I'm turned to the left. That ball is not going to go exactly where I want it to. So what I need to work on is better anticipation and leaning forward rather than backward right here. So that is a much better example of what I should have done in the previous point. Let's go back for a second. You can see my position right now, like I'm still keeping low and stable, but I'm leaning forward and standing a little bit more tall. My paddle is held a little bit higher as well. A rule I heard from someone is it's always better to have your paddle a little bit higher than a little bit too low, because it's easier to move your paddle a little bit down, but it's harder to move your paddle up and get the accuracy that you want. And so here I have my paddle held a little bit higher. I'm standing a little bit taller, and as you can tell, I'm leaning forward. I want this counter. So works out in my favor. Okay, so I need to make this clear. Is first of all, insane IQ play by Rafa. Once again, this guy is one of the smartest players I've ever been on the court with. So it's truly easy to play with him because you can really trust his strategies most of the time. And so he does a really smart drop shot right here. And this ball right here, I know that neither me or Rafa thought that ball was coming back at all. But I made sure to stay ready just in case. As you can see, I have my forehand sitting in the middle right there. Thankfully, when it did come back somehow, I was ready. And another thing I want to note is that one thing I used to do, and a lot of people I see around the 4-0 and under level do, is that they, if you think you have a point in the bag and that the point is over, and the opponents somehow are able to get it back, for example, that crazy drop that Cristobal hit. For example, this crazy drop right here that Cristobal hit. Most players are going to go and try to speed that ball up and finish the point as fast as possible. But you have to know that your opponents are expecting that, and that is what they want most in the moment. And so when Cristobal hit that great drop, even though I was thinking in my head, like, I don't know how they brought the point back to a stable position, I decided to make sure to hit a safe cross-court dink rather than try to finish the point. And that saved us because they were looking to attack, and he ended up hitting into the net instead. I should have let that ball go. I don't know what I'm doing all the way up there. Okay, so here I saw that my drop was a little bit high and that Cristobal was going for a backhand flick. So let's go back to this third shot. I can tell right here my drop is a little bit high. If it was a 4-0 player, even 4 or 5, I wouldn't have had to worry about it that much. But this guy's like a 5.2. And so I know he's going to be able to put some power on that ball. And I'm standing all the way over here in the middle, leaving this entire spot open for him. When you have a backhand flick, it's really hard to hit that inside out just because of the way your wrist works. So that most of the time is either going to go down straight but naturally it's going to go a little bit cross court. And so I'm giving him the perfect opening right now to hit it somewhere I'm not. So that should have been a sign for me to cover my line immediately, because it's much harder for him to hit a flick inside out. And even if he does, Rafa is right there and he can counter that or cover that. Great serve. Great serve from Cristobal, and I needed to just get lower on my returns. Same thing. I don't know why I'm running while I'm hitting the ball, but I should not do that. So obviously my drop was disgusting right there. I hit it to his backhand on purpose, though. This guy was great, and he has a really good forehand, but one thing Rafa and I noticed is that he had a weaker backhand. So we decided that we would try to hit our drops and drives more to his backhand than his forehand. And that worked in my favor in this case, because even though my drop was really high, by hitting it to his backhand, we didn't get punished as badly, and in this case we actually got lucky. And so if I had hit that same drop to his forehand, he probably would have finished it. Yeah, any drop high against Cristobal gets punished, no matter where it is. So this guy, this is probably the point I'm most proud of, right here. What I made sure to do is to keep my feet planted, which saved us in that point. So if you take a look, I see Cristobal hit a really good drive and forced Rafa to hit it a little bit high. And Cristobal is going on the attack right now. And so I decided to plant my feet and just try to brace the ball and get it back. And I managed to do that. I kept my feet planted. I literally tried to not move them an inch. Got that ball back the second time and got lucky after that. I know a lot of players, I also tend to kind of freak out if I see someone charging at me and they're about to hit the ball pretty hard at me. I will usually step back a little bit or try to like move out of the way and just keep my paddle there, but leave my body out of the way. That almost always results in you mishitting it or messing up that ball. And so I think standing my ground and just not moving my feet at all helped with my reaction time and saved us during that point. I think that was a good shot. I planted my feet and just hit a soft roll. Good decision making from Rafa and I. And I think, so this was actually our first time playing together. And I think that we kind of had an unspoken kind of chemistry to where we're both able to keep our cool and we kind of know which ball we should each take. Even when I ended up on the right side sometimes and he ended up on the left, I feel like we still had a good, like, unspoken communication about who's getting which ball. So that also doesn't happen a lot with partners that you play with. So my advice is try to find someone where you have a decent unspoken kind of connection with. See, we got lucky there, but it was also a smart decision on Rafa and my side to try to hit it to the middle because we saw that they are on opposite sides right now. And Cristobal is the more dominant player on this team. And so there would be some confusion around who's getting which ball in the middle. So worked out. Lucky again. Cristobal just hits so hard. That's something I want to make clear is his technique is so good. His paddle is great too, obviously, but he's just able to get so much power on the ball that it is so hard to get back. Ooh. Let's go, Rafa. You see how I know that this isn't about me, but you see how Rafa is just super smart with his paddle positioning. As you can see, he hits a shot that's like a bait ball right now, knowing that this guy is about to attack the ball. And look where his paddle ends up. It's just super high up. And so he's ready for that counter. 10 out of 10. Smart spot to dink to right here. We're having a little bit of miscommunication actually right there, because that's like on my inside foot, and so I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to try to take that ball out of the air or if that's Rafa's job, and so that was a good spot to dink to. Always get the ball back. It's 9-7 right now. too high. I just need to practice those resets. First of all, I almost lost my kids right there. Second of all, I should not have been hitting this ball right here. Look how high it is when I'm hitting that. Would have been much easier for me to just duck and get out of the way, because a ball like that is obviously going out with that speed and that height. So I think getting a little bit lower, being maybe more on my toes, would help my reaction time rather than just digging my heels in the ground and leaning back. I also should have been keeping my elbow tucked in a little bit more. Anyways, let's enjoy this amazing poach Cristobal does that almost kills my kids. Doesn't look like it in the video, but that went right between my legs. Same guy? Now injured. Oh. 200 IQ shot. 200 IQ shot. That's all I can say. And that's it, guys. So that's all the moments from this match, and honestly the positioning thing is more of a mental problem than a physical one. I'm just making decisions like half a second too late, but at this level, anywhere past the 4-0 level, you need to just get a little faster with those decisions. So my goal is to start winning 4.5 plus events and beating 4.5 plus players, and so the decision making is where I really need to work on right now, as well as staying low and being in the right position. So the thing I'm taking into my next session is before every third shot, I want to know exactly where I'm going after I hit that. So I want to be making that decision beforehand instead of reacting to the ball that is hit. If you watched this and spotted something that I missed, please drop it in the comments. I'm gonna read all of them, and some of the best feedback I've ever gotten came from the comments. I'm not gonna tell you to like or subscribe. I'm just happy if you've learned something from this right now, and I hope you'll keep up with me on my journey, and I'll see you in the next one.